Recording has begun, so let's get started. Well, again, thank you everyone for joining us here tonight live, and for those that are joining us later and watching this on our YouTube channel, thank you. A lot to report. Let me just start. For those that haven't met me or I haven't been able to be at your place when you come out to do one of their team builds or wherever, my name is Chris Wiseman. I'm the Executive Director for Habitat for Humanity of Chester County. I am almost to my third anniversary. So I started in April of 2020. I started right as the pandemic was hitting. So it was a very interesting start. But I can say now 3 years in that it is the best job that I have ever had. It was the best move I've ever made to work for an organization that has such a clear mission, has such a direct path to serving people, and fills me up every day. And the impact that we're having, not just on a few families, but the more and more families every year, which we'll talk about some of that in a minute, has been amazing. So this is my beautiful Wiseman clan and my family. So I think between them and what I do at work, I could not be more blessed. Tonight, we're going to talk about a number of things, real major update on a lot of things that we've been currently doing and the things that are coming up right now. Our affiliate is growing almost exponentially, and we have done a lot of great work through our volunteers, through our staff, to build the capacity to continue to do the great work in greater volume than we've ever thought may be possible in our affiliate. Tonight, we're talking a little bit about our current home builds, which are going like gangbusters, the new homes that we're looking at building, the land development piece of that, and where we're looking to build in different parts of the county. Give a couple sneak peeks of where some homes might be coming up soon. Talk about our critical home repair program, which is now fully underway and doing really great there as well, and rehabilitations. And we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like in just a sec. So to start, and I know there's some volunteers on the call as well, and many of you know the sites very well and are out there just nearly every day. So thank you for being a part of it. I could probably hand this over to you to present. You could probably do better than I, because many of you have seen these homes from day one. Let's start with our Cambria Terrace community in Coatesville. This partnership with the city and with the county came to fruition many years ago when the for-profit developer wasn't able to continue due to a lot of issues that was happening in the economy at the time. Habitat was blessed to come in and take a very big portion of this 40 plus homes that we've been building in Cambria over the last several years. We are working on the final 4 homes now as we speak. We'll be going to settlement in just the next few months, and we will be completing the Cambria Terrace community. For those that have seen it and been a part of it and knew what was there beforehand, which was the Oak Street Housing Project, we have literally changed the landscape of Coatesville in a space that was scary and we were afraid to go to. Now our beautiful single family homes, a neighborhood full of kids playing and seniors walking out on along the road. It's just a great environment. And we'll be announcing soon, once we finish those last 4 homes that are under construction, a large community dedication. We're going to look to really celebrate the amazing work that's been done by our volunteers and the builders and the homeowners who have spent blood, sweat, and equity in putting into their homes to make this community what it is. So more to come on that information, but looking for something in that in the summer or fall to really celebrate Cambria's uprising and what's coming next. So let's move to the southern part of the county. Our Fuller Meadows community in West Grove. Fuller Meadows named for Millard and Linda Fuller, who were the founders of Habitat. I'm excited that we just finished phase 3 this week. We were able to go to settlement with our final homeowner in phase 3. Might have been the best settlement I've been to in my time here, because anytime there's a baby who gets to hold the keys and throw them back at me, it's just an amazing experience. And when our homeowners are touched by the work they've done, but the gift they've been given from our other volunteers and donors to receive that, it's just second to none. So phase 3 is complete. Phase 4 is well under construction. We are looking to complete that. I hate to quote dates, but we're looking to complete that in this current calendar year. So more to come there. And we're really excited as we continue to move forward. All of the homeowners for phase 4 have been approved, and all of the homeowners for phase 5 have also been approved. So, and phase 5 has not even broken ground yet. We'll be breaking ground on phase 5 soon as we finish up now the last pieces on phase 3. Now we can roll into the next part, which is phase 5. We typically in the West Grove community have 2 of our phases going at the same time. Each phase has 5 homes, and there'll be 8 phases in total. So when this community is done, it will be another 40 home community in the southern part of the county. Really excited about that. So what happens next? Well, once we finish up Cambria, we'll be heading down off the hill in Coatesville. The next major development will be on Coach Street and Lumber Street there in Coatesville. We have 3 lots that we have purchased that will ultimately build 7 homes. And we're just going through the final permits and sort of variance requests and different things that we have to do to get ready to do the site work there. This picture, by the way, is one of the sites, one of the lots that we have. And if you can see the picture close enough, those are bricks from an old building that used to be there. And we had a wonderful group come out from Agnes Irwin, which is a girls' school in Montgomery County, and brick by brick removed all of those for us. So those lots are being prepared, and that will be the next homes that are under construction. So our volunteers, and I know you have some of these questions, I saw that come across. Where do we go once we're finished with Cambria? You'll be coming down off the hill, just a mile or so down the road to start working on those houses. The next one that we're working through right now is back in the southern part of the county in Tough-Kenneman, New Garden Township. This is a wonderful space where there is 9 homes that had already tentatively been approved by the municipality there. 2 sets of townhomes, not unlike what we're building at the Fuller Meadows. A set of 5 and 4. The picture you're looking at now are plans for what that originally looked like. This could be tweaked a little bit as we work through some of the details, but we are this close to going to settlement and getting that part worked out. If you know that part of the area, there used to be a building called the Brown Derby. That's the northern part of this picture up here, just the north of the homes. It's behind there. So it's in a great location, close to a lot of things. Really excited about the possibility. Once we have that settled and start working on the development of that, we'll open the application process for the next set of homeowners to come in there. So that application process is not open yet until we get it all settled. But the plan is approved from the township, and we just have to work through the nuances and hopefully get that going in the next year or so. The next really probably big major project, and this is becoming potentially a signature project, not just for Habitat for Humanity of Chester County, but Habitat International. They're very excited about the work that we're doing here. We're calling this the Foundry Street Project. This is on Foundry Street in Coatesville. It's technically Callan Township, but it's right there on the edge of Coatesville. This side of it is a hillside, and there's technically 3 sections. And if you're looking at the picture, you can see that Coatesville High School is just right there. To the north of the hill would be sort of the VA hospital is up in that area. So to give you kind of a landmark where this would be. The 3 sections exist. We bought already the bottom part that's circled in there in red. That portion, we're really excited about the potential for what this could become. Callan Township has been a wonderful partner and is excited to have Habitat come in and build homes. The county itself has been looking at the idea of how do we expand the opportunities for affordable houses in different locations, and how do we get that density to be a little bit different. And one of the things that the county's been exploring and bringing in folks to look at is this idea called the missing middle. And typically when we think about housing, we think of high density apartments or single family homes. But there is this middle range where you can build twins or tris, and what we're looking to build here potentially are quads. So if you could imagine a large single family home, what looks like a large single family home with multiple entrances and one home built out of those 4 homes built out of that one location. What this does is actually gives us a lot of creativity in how we put those homes together. So it wouldn't necessarily be like 4 corners. We could build those homes where there's some of them that have only 1 level, which would be great for anybody who has mobility issues or a senior that is looking for a home. And then we sort of Tetris the other pieces together. We think there's a possibility of building as many as 3 of those quads in that location, which would give us 12 new homes on the bottom piece there. And what it also does is it gives us as builders some economy of scale. So you have one foundation, you have utilities all coming up from the kind of the same location. A lot of other habitats have started to do that. A lot of for-profit builders have started to do that too. So there's a lot of models out there that really, really work. And I think the excitement behind that is just one portion of what this is. So that's the bottom portion of this segment. The upper portion of Foundry, we have funding from the community block grants from the county. to purchase the upper lot. We'll be going to settlement on that very soon to do that piece. Originally, the original developer of this property had put a plan in for a place for 21 homes on that space. Those homes were larger single-family homes with more property, just a different kind of community than we think we could build. Excuse me. And our plan will be to build at least 30, potentially more homes on that same space, similar to our Cambria Terrace apartment or homes, so you could be on that hillside on the top piece. So if you're kind of doing the math, 12 on the bottom, at least 30 on the top. Now we're plus 40 again for yet another community. 40 plus in Cambria, 40 in West Grove, 40 in Foundry. But what makes this really unique is the fact that we actually, the original seller is continuing to express interest in working with us in potentially building a solar field in the middle property. And because of a number of incentives that have come through the legislature recently, it makes it really much more feasible for a developer to come in and build a solar field and get credits back from tax incentives and stuff like that to make this profitable. We would lease the property back at a really low rate and hopefully work out a deal that could potentially help our homeowners lower the cost of their utilities. So it could be a win-win-win for all of us. There's additional funding out there to help us do this. There's a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross before we get to that possibility. Even if we don't finally get to the place where we're able to build a solar field, I think the aspirational idea of trying to make that happen at some level is worth just putting out into the world and see if we can do it. So we've had a lot of volunteers and a lot of discussions of helping this to kind of look at this and what it could be. So more to come on that, but boy, what an amazing project if we're able to build 40 plus homes, a solar field, and serve our families and the community in ways that we never thought we could. So that's a lot. That's a lot of what's going on right now. We're not stopping there. Land continues to be a bit of a challenge as we look throughout the county to figure out where to build. So we've started to look into the idea of rehabilitations. And I always like to describe this to folks as we're a really bad flipper. So we lose money on every deal, but that is the Habitat model. So what we've been looking in the community is exploring ideas of finding homes with good bones that sort of meet us where we need to from a purchase standpoint, and then use the Habitat model with volunteers and construction to rehabilitate that home and find a homeowner to move into that space. It's the exact same process we do with new builds. It's just taking an existing home and making it the high quality, affordable Habitat home that we do in our new builds. And we already have a few of those properties in working out right now. Edge Hill is the first one that we will actually be doing some construction on. I'm very excited to just a meeting today with our construction team to find out within the next week, we'll actually start working on the first parts of the demo, which I know some folks are very excited to be able to come in with a sledgehammer. There's not as much to demo as it may look. So we'll be able to turn this house into a beautiful new home there. And this is in the West Grove area. The other one we have is on Strode Avenue in Coatesville. And we actually currently are renting this one to someone who had been there before we came in. So at some point when that person is ready, we will do some work here as well. It's a great location, just right near downtown. Beautiful building that it's part of a twin that we're really excited to be able to turn into a new Habitat home as well. And I'm just going to send a reminder again as we go through this process. If there are questions that pop up, please don't hesitate to go ahead and throw them in the Q&A, and I'm happy to answer them as we go along. So finally, let me switch gears to the next big undertaking that Habitat has right now, and that's our critical home repair program. And we're so excited for what has come of this. This was really, I would say, started as a passion for one of our board members who really thought that we could expand our impact and really grow what Habitat is doing, and really led us down this path to really start the program. What critical home repair is essentially is kind of what it sounds like. If it's a current homeowner who is living in a space that is unsafe or needs some upgrade to be able to continue to live in the space, that's where we come in. We'll talk a little bit more in a second, but the important part of critical home repair is that we want to continue to make sure that affordable homes that are out there stay in the affordable stock of homes. So the criteria to be considered for a critical home repair is that the value of the home has to be under 300,000, similar to our same financial requirements as we do for new home ownership. And then we come in and do an initial assessment of the home with volunteers and with our paid staff, and kind of go through what the homeowner thinks and what we think is important to repair right now to make sure that that house stays safe. Some examples of what that might look like: it could be building a ramp, a wheelchair ramp, to make sure that someone who has mobility issues can get in and out of their house. It may be redoing an entire roof because it's become unsafe to be in that space. It could be replacing windows that have become drafty and are causing issues. We've done HVAC, air conditioning and heating repair. We've done just a number of projects. We're working on one right now where we're doing a lot of electrical work because the wiring is not safe in a house. So we feel like this is such a critical need in our county, and certainly within certain parts of the county that just may not have been able to do these repairs in the way that they want to. What's made this really exciting is the expansion of the critical home repair program through our funding. We received funding now to be able to do 100 homes in the city of Coatesville over the next 3 years. So we're still working throughout the entire county, and we have projects everywhere, but specifically for the city of Coatesville, which we know is in need with some of the existing housing, we now have funding to go out and do some of those home repairs. So anyone on the call now or on the webinar now or who's watching later, you can visit our website. It's an easy application process. You go on, you fill out some information, and one of our staff will contact you and work backwards from there. And we've already done a number of these projects already, and the impact is amazing. When you see a senior who has their bathroom fixed so that they can continue to age in place and feel safe in their home, to build a wheelchair ramp for someone who's had an accident and is now stuck in a wheelchair. These are life-changing things that Habitat's been able to do. And just talking today with our director of construction operations, the quick impact we have with the application, the visit, and then the repairs done in just a week or two. I mean, it can be that fast if the need is that desperate. So please reach out and connect with our team if we can help. And then finally, what I'll end with tonight is just, and then I'll open it up for questions and answers, is to talk about how we continue to grow and expand the Habitat mission. I am a YMCA guy from way back, and what I thought was always the most successful part of working for the Y was the community relationships that we built. And I've tried to bring that to Habitat as well, and offer up my expertise, our affiliates' expertise, and partner with other organizations where we don't have expertise, and create really an entire program and offer of programs that can help our homeowners and help the community, is all centered around affordable home ownership. Just to mention a few, and gosh, there are a lot of partnerships that we work with, but just to give you a sort of an assortment of the different examples. And the first one I'll mention is definitely the Chester County Department of Community Development. There's just no way Habitat could have had the impact we've had over the years, and the impact that we're now having with this continued growth, without DCD. They understand the county, they understand the county's needs, they understand well what Habitat brings and what we do. And I think that relationship has continued to grow and expand because we do what we say. We put out an application, we fill out kind of, this is the impact, this is the homes we're going to build, the impact it's going to have. And then when we review it, yeah, that's exactly what it did. And we continue to do that. They have been such amazing supporters financially, but also just in exploring different ideas that are out there and helping us really to rethink how we can make a greater impact. So DCD, we continue to just appreciate all that they do. We work with other organizations to help with the direct impact to our families. Open Hearth is a great example of a great organization in our county that, with Open Hearth, we actually use their folks to do budget and money education for our homeowners as they come in. So new homeowners have to go through some time with them to talk about how to budget, how to save money. They have a savings program that actually they help match some of the funds that can come into a kind of a down payment. And it just works. And I know Open Hearth does a lot more than just that for the community, but for us, it's a great partnership where we don't have to have resources internally to help our homeowners go through that process. Open Hearth is an essential piece of helping our homeowners be successful as they continue on into the home ownership process. So we appreciate them and other organizations like them. I'm very excited to now be the co-chair on the Phoenixville Council on Affordable Housing. We just recently, about a year or so ago, moved our offices to the Phoenixville area. So we're learning more and more about Phoenixville. We just opened a new Restore. We're about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary in the new Restore in Phoenixville. Phoenixville is an incredibly amazing model for growth and development in our county. But like any municipality, they're considering all the different ways that they can continue to make sure that affordable home ownership is a part of their growth. And the Phoenixville Council on Affordable Housing is trying to assist them with that. We have an education piece. We have other items that we're out advocating for, and it brings together a number of these great organizations to really think about how can we affect and continue to support the borough and outside the borough, the municipalities around Phoenixville to continue to have affordable home ownership. So we're seeing great impact there. And then other service organizations in the county that are doing similar things. And what I've always been so impressed with when I reach out to other providers in the county is that we're all open to work together. It is not competition. And Good Works and Good Neighbors, similar but different organizations in what they do. Good Works does whole home repairs. They spend a lot of time being with the homeowners. But the first part of what they do is come in and do an initial assessment of a home. And if there's items that are unsafe, they do those part first, the critical repairs first. And talking with Good Works, boy, that's a great partnership that we could help provide some of that initial critical home repair, what we do, and then hand it back to them to do the rest of the whole home repairs over time when it's safe to do so. Same thing with Good Neighbors. And Good Neighbors and I share the same passion for serving, and we had the same leadership in both organizations. Our former CEO and a former board member of theirs who has passed away was on both organizations. So we are looking sometime in the future to do something to memorialize that relationship that these two organizations have had. But again, very receptive and very open to just serving the community any way we can. Not competitive. Let's figure out how to make sure that we take our organizations and maximize the potential of what we're doing. And then even on sort of the front end, we have a partnership with organizations, and a great example of what we do with homeowners, with creating homeowners is North Star of Chester County. What a great organization centered out of Westchester. They work with single parents, and they take them through a budget process, through a money education process. They help them with all aspects of improving their life. And what has become now the graduation of their program is the application to get a home through Habitat. And we've seen some of that come through, and we're excited about the potential for that. So working with North Star, but other organizations that are helping to get folks ready to be homeowners and to go through the application process is another essential piece for what we do. We couldn't do what we're doing now, and we couldn't continue to grow and expand without these partnerships. And I haven't listed all of them. There's lots of stuff in the southern part of the county, and starting to find relationships up in the northern part of the county. And so it is exciting to just continue to be a part of what we do and know what we do well, and find the folks that when we work together, that synergy that help with affordable home ownership, it really seems to work. We've had a couple questions come in, and I will jump on that in just a second. I just want to mention a couple other things. I know there's a lot of information. Hopefully everyone's really excited about the incredible work that we're doing. And a lot of folks ask, how can I continue to support Habitat? Where can I come in? And there's a lot. There's a lot of different ways to give of your time, talent, or treasure. So I would invite you to visit our website, but just some of those things are listed here. We have an annual giving program. We have a monthly support program we call the Square Foot Club. We can do planned giving. There's corporate giving. You can support us by donating things to the Restores, and you can volunteer. And we have a lot of volunteers on the call tonight, which I appreciate. It is the essential part of what our organization is. And there's lots of opportunities to volunteer, whether that's coming out and swinging a hammer at our sites, that's coming to either Phoenixville or Callan Restore and helping there, looking at ways to support our homeowners as they're coming through their process. I got a wonderful offer from an amazing volunteer who wants to help fill the home and basically be a designer for their home, and help them fill what they need from items from the Restore. So things like that are unbelievable. We have folks who fill their pantries when they first come in. If you haven't been to one of our sites and you haven't seen it, what is probably in my mind, what feels like just a great impact for both the homeowner and the volunteer are the messages that we leave under the stairs or on the 2x4s, and wishing them hope, giving them all our love on what they're doing in the next journey, and seeing the hard work that they all put into it. So there's a number of ways to look to volunteer. If you're interested in that anyway, again, just visit our website and you can see the many opportunities. And then, as I mentioned, there's lots of ways to find out all the great things we're doing. You're doing one of those tonight or watching the video after the fact, so great job. You can join our text group. There's a blog, there's a newsletter. We're on every bit of social media, most of which I don't fully understand. So thank God we have somebody who does that for us. And we just redid our website. So there's a lot of great information on there. So that is us in a nutshell. So I'm going to jump on some of the questions and try to answer some of those. And thank you for the ones that submitted tonight. I have a couple more that came in through the night. Bear with me. I'm going to take a little sip of water quick. So the first question that came in was about volunteers on critical home repair projects, and do we take those? And yes, it does depend on the particular repair. So if it's a roofing repair, no. We would have someone, a sub that would come out and do some of that work. But I know two of the projects that are underway right now, our brand new critical home repair director, Joe, is going to be reaching out to volunteers to come and help with those projects. So great examples are the wheelchair or like wheelchair ramp that we can build, the upgrading of bathrooms to make it safe for seniors, and lots of other things. There are some things that we'll need to have subs for. And I will mention, we have some incredible community leaders in business who have donated product to us as well. So we have a relationship that with a window company, and I know there's going to be a lot of fanfare for that. So I won't steal that from our marketing department, but that's coming out very soon. I will share an HVAC company called Chadsford Climate Control, who has been an incredible ally for us as we move forward, not only in new builds, but now in critical home repair, donating a lot of their parts too. So some of those type things we have outside folks come in and do. But I will say, even on the Windows side, this company is willing to teach our volunteers how to put in their windows that they're donating. So a lot of great relationships there. So there will be more need for volunteers than there is now. We will continue to solicit and explore as many ways as we can to bring volunteers and the homeowners onto the sites and help us with doing those things. So great question. Thank you. The next question was, with all these expansions going on, how are we getting it all done? What are our biggest needs to keep it up? And boy, what a great question. This is the thing that keeps me up at night, right? And making sure that we have done all of the great work. We are lean and mean when it comes to the amount of paid staff that we have, but we are strong and powerful in the amount of volunteers that we have. We have an incredible board that is very active and eager to use whatever skill set they have to help us. We have attorneys, we have, the list is long. We have real estate folks, we have people who are engineers, and we just have all sort of level of everything we could ask for that will help us on a volunteer level. We have a number of organizations that I mentioned, even outside of those businesses, that help with sort of the day-to-day operational things that we do, from IT to HR to you name it. What I'm really proud of personally is the team that we've been building over the last couple of years and building that capacity. From when I started 3 years ago, we've added several staff onto the team, brought some of those part-time staff to full-time, and really found, I would just take that as another blessing, really found the right people at the right time to really take us to the next level. And each one of these folks are nowhere near their capacity. They probably don't want to hear me say that, but they know that they can do more. That's why we hired them, so that as we continue to grow, they can grow. We're also continuing to look at different systems to help us out, software that will help streamline some of these things. It is an exciting and wonderful and scary time for just those reasons. But in my career, I've never once sort of even paused or stopped to say, should we? We just figure it out and we do it. And I've never felt that I've been in a place that's better suited for that mentality. The board wants it, our volunteers want it, and the community needs it. So we're going to figure it out. Great question. Another question about, are we planning to build in Phoenixville soon? We don't have a set plan for Phoenixville, but I will say in the group that I'm now co-chair for, we are looking at some different options. I think what's really excited about potentially happening in Phoenixville, based on the number of organizations that are a part of this council, is a mixed use community, a mixed income community. So looking at some potential opportunities either there or just outside the borough that would involve both apartments, single family homes, commercial real estate. So there's a number of things that we think we could do together to make that work. What I keep putting out for the community and folks from a Habitat perspective is we know what we're good at. We are great at building. And so if there's opportunities for us to be the lead developer and builder on a project, and that project, whatever that project may be, we have proof in concept. We have been successful over the last many years, and what we're doing works. So if the funding is there and the community relationships are there and the development opportunity is there, we're going to help lead that and do the part that we do really well. Great questions. We had a few other questions that came in before tonight, but please continue to put questions into the Q&A if they come up. There was a question about homeowner selection and how we choose our homeowners. It's a great question. The process typically when we're open, and we're not always open, we'll be opening for the Coates and Lumber Street next, and you'll see that application window open on our website. There is an application process. The basic criteria is that all of our homeowners are in the 70th percentile or lower of the area median income. And you can look that up on our website to see if you qualify there. They go through the application process. We have a staff member who walks everyone through that piece of it. That's that side of it. No one should be scared to apply based on any past history from the financial standpoint. We will look at those things. We'll take everything into consideration and figure out if it works. From there, once we work through that piece internally, we have an outside group of volunteers who are independent of our board, independent of the staff, who actually go and visit the potential homeowners. Usually, and this has been the case almost to every person since I've been here in the last 3 years, they're renting from a place that is going to be costing more than their mortgage. And a lot of those places are not in the best of shape, and it's going to be a definite upgrade. And that's what they're looking for. We want homeowners we want this to be an incredible life change for them, a generational change for their families. And so they go out and they meet with the families, they see them in their situation, and then they come back and they make the recommendation to the board on who they would like to see become a potential homeowner. Once that part is done and they are approved, then they're required to do 200 hours of what we call sweat equity. And that means they are working side by side with volunteers and our staff building the houses. And this is an amazing part of the process, and really, I think, the core of what makes Habitat work, because not only are folks, gaining a greater buy-in and appreciation for what they're building, but they're learning how to be great homeowners. I mean, I think of just my own personal story is the first time I had to do some really basic plumbing. That was like rocket science for me, but I figured it out. And if you hadn't been through that process before, or had someone that walk beside you to do that, those things become really difficult. And if you have to pay an outside person to do that, that's a barrier. And so we're teaching them how to do that plumbing, how to do fixed drywall, how to do some of that basic work. And that makes for a better homeowner, which makes for a better home, which makes for a better neighborhood. And so it's a key part of what we do. And we are the mortgage holder in the process. So, the worst kept secret, which shouldn't be a secret at all, is that we provide a 0% 30-year mortgage for folks. That's how we make it affordable. The cost of construction is less because of the volunteers and the homeowners working together, the affordability of the mortgage. And what that also gives us is a 30-year relationship with those homeowners. So should something happen that we need to help work with them, like when we had the pandemic, we have the ability to do that. And unlike probably many banks would be able to do. So very, very seldom does ever a homeowner not continue to stay in their home and make that work. The only time that doesn't work is when they don't talk to us and we can't find a way to work through it together. But every other time we've been able to make that work. So that's a key piece. A couple other questions that have come through. Someone asked if we have any special programs specifically for vets and for veterans. We don't have specific programs, but we definitely take that into consideration as we go through the process. I'm very excited that we have had 2 now projects with critical home repair, one of which right now is a disabled veteran who we're putting in a wheelchair ramp for. So as someone, I was in the Air Force. I did not serve in a scary place. I did my time in International Guard, but I understand that what that means for someone to serve and what they've done, and you won't find a group of people in our team that isn't more appreciative of what they do. So that is definitely a consideration on folks when they come in, and we love to be able to do that. We don't have a specific program for it or specific funding set aside for it, but we do everything we can to make sure we help those folks. And I think I answered actually the last one, which was about how do I get involved and how do I volunteer? So again, the best avenue for that is to go onto our website to connect with our volunteer director. It's our community programs director, Brooke Seeger. We'll get you started on that. She is in contact with most of our volunteers and our homeowners as well. So she probably has the best job at Habitat. So she gets to work with all the folks whose heart is truly in the mission, and we're blessed to have it. So if there are not any other questions, I will just say my final thoughts. Last chance for any other questions. Well, again, let me just say thank you to everyone who got onto the call tonight. I see volunteers, I see staff, I see community members, I see partners who are out there as well. And thank you to everyone who's watching this after the fact to come in and learn more about what we do. I'll share a little personal bit. I'm about to turn 50, and as I reflect on what that looks like, I feel absolutely 100% blessed to be where I'm at in my life. And where I'm at in my life is working for an organization that has a clear mission, has a clear impact, with volunteers and staff that are all rowing the same direction and creating more and more opportunities for people to have a home. And at the end of the day, if the more folks that we put into a home and get that entry point into the middle class, the more the community is going to change, the more the county is going to continue to succeed, the more the world is going to be a better place. So I thank all of you for what you do. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do. And that concludes our webinar for tonight. Thanks, everybody, and have a great night.